Very good and happy morning. Yes, I'm back again. A slightly different topic today. I've been working on it and I've been thinking about it on and off, on and off. The fact is that I belong to that generation where we saw that it was so difficult to communicate with people, so difficult to travel, so difficult to understand people from different cultures and countries and all that. And then we moved into the 21st century where the world has literally become a global village. Today, you can pick up your phone and talk to anybody in any corner of the world, not only an audio call, but even a video call, almost free of cost. Travel has become so amazing. You go to any international airport, and so absolutely chock a block with passengers flying from one place to another. Recently, I was told that a ticket from Delhi to Dubai costs less than a ticket from Delhi to Mumbai. So that's how people are traveling. That's how people are communicating. That's how the world has become a global village. Now, in these situations, diversity should have become a buzzword and it should have been so accepted. People should have felt that it no longer makes a difference which country you belong to, which religion or caste or subcaste you belong to, or whatever, which culture, which food habits, which dressing styles. We should have got used to it, isn't it? But why I selected this topic today is because I am concerned about the fact that we are still tolerating diversity. We are not accepting diversity. With great hesitation, we say, okay, I am going to be broad minded enough, generous enough to tolerate this guy who is different from me. And that is definitely an area of concern because what is the message that we are passing on to the younger generation? Today's children, as I have been saying, a lot of people have been saying, are what we call as digital natives. They don't belong to any particular country, state, caste, region. They all belong to the digital world. They are completely different from everyone. I mean, in the sense that it makes no difference to them where they were born and brought, what language they speak at home, what is their food habits. They are completely, into the digital world, and that should have been good news. That should have been the opening of the doors to, as I said, the global village where there should not have been any discrimination. People should have been accepted the way they are and stuff like that. But ask yourself truthfully, does it really happen? Are we really, willing to say that now that we have such opportunities, the younger generation, for example, a person can be sitting in Chikmagalur or Chikballapur and working for an American company. He may have a boss in UK, a customer in Singapore, and he may be working from home, so he need not even have his office colleagues or anything like that. Taking that into account, things should have become much more simpler. Things should have become much more smoother. Somewhere along the line, the area of concern is that it is not. Deep down in our heart, have we been able to give up age old prejudices, biases, anger, hatred? For whatever reason, our forefathers drilled that into us. We were told that only our people are good and all the others are bad. We, for generations, we grew up in a suspicious world. Even one village people would look at people from the other village and say, no, 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 don't talk to them. People would not marry their daughters to somebody who belongs to some other village or some other district or whatever it is. Forget about different caste or different religion. Maybe that sort of prejudice and that sort of thinking served some purpose in those good old days for whatever may be the reason, but definitely not today. And like I said, it's not just a question of tolerating, it should be a question of accepting. It's not that, okay, I have no choice, I have to live with these guys, so I will not, protest. You have to genuinely accept people. There was a joke which somebody was narrating the other day. A man was passing by the London Bridge, and he saw another man about to jump and commit suicide. He went running to him and stopped him, and he said, "What are you doing?" He said, "No, I want to end my life. I don't want to live." He said, "How can you do that? We are all human beings. We are all there for each other. We are all part of the same brotherhood, and we are humans. I can't allow another human being to end his life." Then he looked at him and said, "You seem to be an Asian." He said, "Yes, I'm an Asian." He said, "I'm also an Asian. That means we are very close to each other. I can't allow you to die." Then he said, "Which country?" And that man said, "India." He said, "I'm also an Indian. So you are my brother. I definitely cannot allow you to end your life. I am there for you. We'll see what needs to be done." He said, "You look like a South Indian." He said, "Yeah, I am." He said, "I'm also South Indian. See, we are so close to each other. Let's be together and see what can be done." "By the way, which state are you from?" He said, "Tamil Nadu." "I'm also from Tamil Nadu. We are close brothers. I can't allow you to die." "What caste are you?" He said, "I'm a Brahmin." "Oh my, I'm also a Brahmin. We are so close. How can I allow you to die?" Then he asked him, "Are you an Iyer or an Iyengar?" He said, "I'm an Iyer." He said, "I am an Iyengar. You stupid Iyers, get lost. Jump over if you want." And he walked off. Now, that may be a joke, but doesn't it reflect sometimes the deep rooted prejudices or biases or whatever you may call it? We need to make active efforts to overcome them. If our generation doesn't do it, I don't know who will be able to do it. And this includes everything: inclusion of people of any sector. Last few years, you have been hearing a lot about LGBTQIA plus. I've been, interacting with people of this community for the last 30 years. Some of them who are very active leaders today, like Akai Padmashali and all, they were kids, they were teenagers when I first used to start interacting with them, when it was such a great, not only a stigma, but also a crime to be part of LGBT community. Okay, laws have been changed, they've been allowed that freedom and recognition and everything. But deep down inside, ask yourself, have you accepted them? Or do you still feel that a person has to be either a man or a woman or a straight person and not a homosexual or whatever it is? Starting from there, it goes into every sector. I was very happy, that there's this very young man. Most of the people who enroll in our diploma in counseling skills are people who have been through some experiences of life, been through ups and downs, and then they get deeper interest in human behavior, and then they come and participate in our program. But I always, encourage when youngsters show that maturity to want to learn. One such youngster this year has enrolled for the diploma in counseling skills. I just, asked him if it is okay that we can talk to him. So we got him over here and we shot a small video of his. Anis has got this video which he will play for you just now. Have a look at Muhammad.
You are watching Muhammad. Yes, and let's see what is so different about him. So he is adjusting himself, and oh, he has worn gloves because that helps him in his comfortable walking, and that is the way Muhammad walks. He is a very positive, zealous, and a person interested in human beings, and his yearning to learn has brought him to Banjara as a student who wants to pursue his diploma in counseling skills. Let us see what he has to share about the divergence and the way society treats him.
How did the society discriminate me? Yes, this question is a very relevant question, I can tell you. Society discriminates in a very indirect way, that is not considering special people like us, like for example in accessibility. There are so many places that have no accessibility for people like us, and I feel that's a little bit discriminating from my side, because you know if there is society, if together we make a society, we have to consider each and every one and their facilities, like for example accessibility for us. So yes.
This year with Muhammad, and a lot of people like him, some who have retired 20 years back, some who are on the threshold of adulthood and youth. And that's one thing that we enjoy every year. I get the thrill of seeing people. We get people from different countries. See, last year we had this young lady from Afghanistan, and you know what happened over there? The whole country, went into a turmoil. Her parents, she was so worried about them that they finally left the country and went to USA. And then she completed the course and she joined the parents in USA. It was a happy ending, but then the turmoil that she went through and what she used to share with us at that time was, so touching. We could learn so much from her, which is also what happens with my association with the armed forces. I'm a very proud civilian who, whenever the call is there or whenever the need is there, I rise to the occasion and I try to interact with them. I do counseling, I do mentoring, I do training, I do team building, I do whatever is required whenever it is required at any place. I've been to far ends of the country on their invitation and spend days with them. In fact, right now, if you see, I'm wearing this cap called the Basantar 1971. In the 1971 war on the Western Front, Vasantar was the game changer. It was how the whole scenario changed, and the way our armored division. If you see the tank on this cap, it was the armored division which went through the arid deserts of Rajasthan deep into Pakistan and made them understand that you don't succumb or you don't give up. We can overrun your entire country. And the beauty of it is, in that armored regiment, there were people who were Hindu, Muslim. One of the highly decorated officers from Pune Horse was Colonel Tarapurwala, who was a Parsi. We had Sikh, we had Christians, we had every possible community represented in the armored brigade, which were the heroes which won that Western Front for us. Taking all these things into account, we should learn a few lessons. Actually, what happens is that we are always suspicious of the unknown. Take a small little, let's start with a very simple example. If you have a small child and you are living in a two-level house, and the first floor, the lights are closed because everybody is on the ground floor. If you tell the little man, go to the first floor, and in my bedroom there is my, whatever pen or something, just go and get it. The child says, it is very dark, I am scared, I don't know what monsters will be there in the bedroom. You go up with the child and switch on the light, and he's very happy. He can look around everywhere and he knows that there are no monsters. And he'll pick up that item and bring it down or whatever it is. So, you see how it starts? It starts with the basic, fear of the unknown. And that is what happens when people are different from us. Be it, physically challenged people like Muhammad, whom you met just now, be it LGBTQIA plus community, be it different religions or castes or whatever it is, be it different countries. That is something that we need to actually overcome and work constantly on bringing about the change. As you know, traditionally we always had what is called as an arranged marriage. People, a boy and a girl who had hardly even met each other, they used to get married and they used to live happily ever after. Today, you have boys or girls who protest. They tell their parent, no, you can't select a partner for me. I'm going to select. And when I'm selecting, I will select on what I like, not because you said the horoscope matches or the caste is the same or whatever it is. See the type of turmoil day in and day out we are coming out with this thing. So many families we deal with. Is that an issue to create a rift between parents and children? Is it an issue to break up families? Starting from there, it goes to wars between countries and this and that because of differences and misunderstandings and all these things. And the beauty of it is today, when we have so much of opportunity to travel, you can go to any part of the country, any part of the world, and see how people are and what do they do and understand. And yet, despite that, we are just closing ourselves. So, what I did was just to help us to start moving in that direction and to think, broaden our horizons, I would say. I've listed out what are the areas of diversity that we confront today. What are the areas of diversity for which we need to be aware and we need to take cognizance of? So here is a list which has been made into a slide by Anish. He'll show it to you. Different areas of diversity. First one, obviously. to include anybody who doesn't fit into these groups. So we don't know what are going to be the new things which are going to be coming up from time to time. Anyway, the point that I was making is that can you make sure that you develop a sort of sense of curiosity? I told you, no, whenever we don't know much about another, group of people, we tend to become suspicious about them. We tend to have a negative thinking about them. So, if you can develop that curiosity, but that curiosity should be with an open mind, not by passing judgment in the beginning itself. Yes, so and so is different from me in this area out of that long list that I gave you. Identify. In this particular area, this person is different from me. So the only way to understand what that person is and how much I can interact and what I can benefit from that person is by developing that thing of curiosity. I spent a major part of my life in what was then known as Bombay. It is known as a melting pot. People from every nook and corner were there, and nobody bothered what you are and who you are. Hardworking people, perpetually on the run, and perpetually keeping to themselves without caring about who or what the others are. Now, that sort of non prejudice, if we can spread all over the country, it is going to be something really, really, wonderful. Travel, as I mentioned, should be used as a means to understand people. If it is travel to a hill station 100 miles from your home, or in the other end of the country, or in the other end of the world, wherever you go, look at human beings, look at people, and try to understand them. Try to bring in diversity in your own lifestyle. Dress up differently, try out different foods, learn a few words of a new language. If you bring in diversity into your own lifestyle and into your family and inculcate that into your children, you will find that we are much, much more open. And lastly, anticipate change. Be aware that change is going to come in. I remember reading long back, there was this very popular cartoon magazine called Mad Magazine. There's this middle aged couple sitting on the sofa and watching TV, and their son walks up and says, "Dad, Mom, I got married." And they're turning around and looking at their son in shock. And they're saying, "Son, you should have married a woman. He's brought a man with him." At that time, I laughed at it. I said, "See, this is what happens in different cultures. We don't do things like that and all." That was my prejudice speaking. Thankfully, I've learned that everybody has a right to lead their own life. And please be aware that unless and until you make that effort to reach out, everybody will be in their own islands, and there will be so much of fragmentation of thinking, of emotions, of actions, that people will become little islands. And despite all these global citizens and village and all these communication improvement and all that, we are going to be in a very miserable world. This was explained very well when the Nazis got into power. When the Nazis started getting into power, their whole aim was that we should eliminate anybody who is different from us. That is what was the policy of the Nazis. There was this pastor called Friedrich Nietzsche. He wrote such a beautiful poem which is useful even 80 years later over now. Pastor Niemöller, who was part of the anti-Nazi resistance movement in 1939, just before the Second World War broke out. You know what the pastor said? Here you are. He said, "First they came for the Jews, but I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. I was not bothered. Let them catch hold of the Jews. How do I care? Then they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. So how am I bothered? And then They came for the trade unionists. And I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. I had nothing to do with them. So I said, how am I bothered? And then they came for the Catholics. And I did not speak out because I was not a Catholic. I had nothing to do with them. And then they came for me. And there was no one left to speak out for me. Amazingly touching words. See the depth of the understanding of how he made us understand what it means to reach out and become part of this entire world, not only of humanity, but include animals, birds, nature. Only then we will have true harmony, right? So work on that. I will take a 1 minute break as usual, and Sonal is here to update you on what's happening, and then I'll be back.
Good morning, everyone. Wonderful morning with uh, diversity. You know what? When I was listening to Ali, I was thinking if people start adapting what Ali was telling about diversity, trying to do things which you have not done, involve yourself in doing things what you have not done, it will help you to improve and develop your creative skills, critical skills, which is a wonderful life skill, isn't it? Try, it's fun. And to tell experience of my own, when we started classes, certain programs online, we had no idea on how to shoot a video, how to edit a video, how to attach a sound to a video. It was all what Ali said, adapting to diversity, helped to bring out the creative skills what we had. The whole team at Banjara worked towards it. It was a really wonderful experience in the beginning. Each one was trying out something and adding to the program. Hey, we can do this, we can do that. And that's how the whole program started developing. That's how our IPCAD, International Program in Child and Adolescent Development Program, was made. The admissions are open right now, and very soon we will be starting the batch as well. So if you wish, or if you think that anybody can be benefited from the Banjaras program to understand children and adolescents, you can tell them to call up office ASAP and join the program. Apart from that, I have something nice to show you very soon. Anis, can you please? Last Saturday we had our DCS convocation. Was it nostalgic? Whoever has done DCS, I'm sure it would have been a memory run on your in your mind. Hey, I was here, I was there, I did this, my friend was this. It was a wonderful period, isn't it? That is what DCS brings in, I would say, life back which you have missed out in your growing years. That was my experience, right? Apart from that, the skills that you learn in diploma in counseling skills are so amazing. Again, it helps you in building up your diversity. So, whomever you think can benefit from this course, please pass on the message that admissions are going on in full swing. Even the procedure to begin the classes, before that, before the first class, there's so much that is done. That has also started. So the whole tempo is ready for all the DCS students who wants to join in this year, the Silver Jubilee batch. And whoever has already done can also drop in and share your experiences. We would love to listen to you all. Yeah. And here is Ali for you to continue with his question answer sessions. So please type your questions because he is here to answer them as many as it's there. Otherwise, he will log out soon. Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Yes, I'm back. There are a lot of good mornings. So, a collective good morning to all of you. There are a lot of nice comments saying that blessed to be an alumni of Bandara and miss those days. Yes, we also always miss you when you pass out and move out from here. Asha says, Asha is generally the first person to come out with some very nice comments and questions. Asha says, sometimes I've observed people simply accept other people in their culture, mannerism only when they have some hidden agenda. Once it is fulfilled, the backbiting begins. Yes, Asha, we need to be very careful about such people. There are people who try to flatter, there are people who try to show that they love you and they are very interested in you and all that, but that is one of the things we should learn. We teach this in DCS also, elsewhere also, in our counseling also. Whoever wants to resolve interpersonal issues and stuff like that, how to learn to know who is genuine and who is not. As you will recall, all you DCS students, congruence is something that we give so much importance to. Is this person really in harmony about his thoughts, his feelings, his words, and actions? If you learn that skill of congruence for yourself and for others, you will be able to deal with such people. Okay. Halima says, blessed to be an alumni of Banjara. Yes, Halima, we also feel blessed that all of you who have reposed your faith in us in the last quarter century. As you know, we are starting with our Silver Jubilee batch now. So there have been years and years of those people. Sridevi says, miss those days. You don't have to miss them actually, Sridevi. Get connected with us in whatever way you can. The doors of Banjara are always open to the people who have been our students earlier. And there's a lot that we can do. The other day, DCS 2022 had a wonderful alumni meet in which almost 60 people turned up. And we had a good session. I also addressed them for an hour, and we had the formal session. And then everybody walked down to Patel's Inn and had a sumptuous lunch. So these are all things that we can, whereby we can do. And in that, there were at least 3-4 people who came from out of town only to attend that occasion, and they went back. Okay. Sridevi says, yes, indeed, great memories in our DCS. Cherish those memories. Use them for the benefit. Spread the message to people that this is what counseling is all about. This is what human interactions or reaching out is all about. Let people understand that this is as important as anything else, and tell them a very, very important lesson, that is, do not be so busy making a living that you forget how to live. That is a policy which I have always adhered to, and I've tried to help people to understand that there has to be work life balance. And then you can understand the beauty of the world that we are living in this 21st century, and in this great country of ours, which has got unity in diversity, which has got so much to offer if we all put our heads and hands together. Florence, my good old friend, is back. Accepting one's self will enable accepting others. Thank you for being the support of many lives. Thank you also, Florence. You're doing amazing, wonderful work that she has been doing for the last 30 odd years with children particularly, and it's really commendable that we have so many of our own students who are spreading the message and doing such wonderful work. And the point that Florence raised is also very important. Accepting oneself will enable accepting others. I think that's a very, very important precondition, that if I accept me with all my faults, with all my limitations, that I'm human, I'm entitled to make mistakes, I will never be perfect. That lays the foundation for you to help accept others and accept that diversity, right? Ah. Pratima says, free. Is this manipulation again? Do we get anything for free? You'll be surprised, Pratima. There are a lot of things in this world which are free. When I talk to students who are giving exams, and there's this lot of thing, you buy this tonic or you do this and you do that, and this way you will be able to bring down your stress, your concentration will improve, and your memory will improve. Two of the things which improve your concentration, attention span, and memory are free of cost. You know what they are? Air and water. As simple as that. Do deep breathing regularly, consistently. Every now and then, take a break, and for 2 minutes, do deep breathing. Keep a couple of bottles of water next to you, keep pouring it into the glass, and keep sipping water. It's free. The same way, there are genuine people around us. If we reach out to them, if we identify them, and if we allow them to get close to us and interact with us, they are people who are giving us their love, their concern, their attention, free of cost. Look around, and each one of you will find a few such people. Okay, Asha says, agreed upon congruency, which you just spoke, but people also have mastered camouflaging as well. Yes, Asha, that's a fact. See, that's another aspect of diversity, no? There will be people who are congruent, and there will be people who are hypocrites. It is up to us to develop that skill of finding out who is what, who is genuine, who is congruent, and who is a hypocrite. And once we understand that, all you have to do is to spend more and more time and attention on the congruent people and keep a distance wherever and whenever possible from the hypocrites. Life does get enriched. Shireen, Dr. Shireen is here after a long time. She is commenting. I've always been appreciating her thinking. So Dr. Shireen says, on my visit to my sister in USA, we were coming out of a store. A teenage girl with her mother just stood in front of me and just started staring at me. Her mother was trying to pull her away, but she was wanting to touch me. Can I? I said yes. First, she touched me with her finger and then hugged me, saying, I like you. Are you real? I said yes. Perhaps she was accepting diversity. Yes, being a typical, maybe Caucasian white kid, she had not had much of exposure in seeing people who are Asian, Indian, who wear saris or whatever Indian dresses and all that. But this is how they learn. And it's up to the parents to give them that type of exposure, to help them to understand who these people are, how they are different, but yet how they are part of the great humanity. The more we give them that exposure, be it in US, be it in India, be it anywhere, I think all of us should work towards that, right? Ah. Sridevi says, nowadays everyone is so particular in getting their spaces. It was so apt, Ali, when you said, don't be in your own islands. That is one of the greatest enemies of acknowledging and accepting diversity. The moment I shut myself into a mental island, I told you, people who say, I moved into this new building or this new colony, but I don't talk to neighbors. I don't know what sort of people they are. What have I done? I have made my apartment into an island. And I do not allow other boats and ships to come in. And that will make me very lonely. Remember that I have been telling you, and the world is now talking about it. The Surgeon General of USA, Dr. Vivek Murthy, has again gone on record to caution people about loneliness. He has written a wonderful book called Together. The name of the book is simply Together, and it is written by Dr. Vivek Murthy, who is the Surgeon General of USA. When when the publishers asked him to write a book on whichever disease or whichever ailment he felt we should give maximum attention to. They thought he'll probably write on cancer or heart disease or AIDS or whatever it is. But he wrote on the disease of loneliness. He calls it one of the greatest epidemics of 21st century, and I 100% agree with him. And that loneliness gets increased if you are not able to accept diversity. You only tolerate diversity because the world is constantly becoming diverse. You will have different people around you, be it in your colony, be it in your office, be it in your neighborhood. Everywhere you will find different people. Your children will go to schools where there will be other children from such diverse backgrounds. The more we teach them also to accept diversity, the happier they are going to grow up, and the more flexible they will be to be able to adapt to change and be on their own, right? Roshan says people in Hyderabad are not aware of mental health, so they have humiliated us many a time. But after doing these years, I've become a tough and strong emotionally and do not care how people treat us, but in turn, always have extended a helping hand to others. When there is no support or help from others, there's always a supreme power to guide us. Very well said, Roshan. It's not only maybe Hyderabad or Bangalore or any other state. There are cities which are a little more progressive, there are cities which are a little more conservative in culture. It's fine. But everywhere progress is taking place, even the most diverse. The other day I was doing a training program for teachers, an orientation program. That trust runs two schools, one in Bangalore and one in a very remote village, 100 kilometers from here, with not even proper communication and all that. Those teachers were also brought here, and the teachers of these two schools, part of the same trust, I was addressing them. At one point, I told them that some of the behavior issues of adolescents may not have reached the village children. But in Bangalore, I want you to be aware that this is the behavior of the teenagers with regard to technology and social media. A teacher raised up her hand and said, "No, sir. Even in our village, the same behavior pattern is visible among teenagers. Poor children living in a small village, coming from very secluded society, even they have become global citizens. Even they are digital natives. So you can understand where the world is going and whether we want to be part of it or not. Right? Yes, Sheila says it's not only about Hyderabad, I think. That's exactly what I'm saying. That there are certain cities or towns which are a little more conservative, there are some which are a little more progressive, but it doesn't make a difference to us. Exactly as Roshan said, that after doing this year, she said, I have become tough and strong emotionally, and I do not care how people treat us. And in turn, she said, I've always extended a helping hand to others. Now that creates that opening. People who were stigmatizing because there is some mental health issue in a family and they're looking down on the whole family, they realize that here are these people who are reaching out to me, and they feel ashamed and they feel embarrassed and they say, yes, maybe I should have reciprocated, maybe I should have reached out. That's how it goes. So, step by step, what we need to do, the bottom line, as they say, is to acknowledge and accept that diversity is going to be the buzzword. maximum change is going to come in terms of diversity. It started with the technological development. The moment we went into the IT era, as they call it, from there the whole world started changing, and now it has moved on, as you know, to artificial intelligence, data sciences, machine learning, whatever. Just a few months back, last November, the chat GBT came in. A lot of people are giving me a very, very interesting, both positive and negative opinions about this chat GBT. I don't have an opinion on that. I don't want to formulate my mind and say it is good or it is bad. All I want you to understand is it is part of life. Whether you like it or not, you can't turn the clock back. So if today there is chat GBT, tomorrow there's going to be something totally unexpected. And how are you going to deal with it? Asha says probably live and let live attitude will help people to be peaceful with one own self, and becoming accepting diversity easier. Yet, yes, I agree with you, Asha. But along with live and live, let us live together. Please remember, if I say I will live my own way and I will let you live your own way, again I'm creating a gap. If I say let us live together, that's where the beauty of human life and social interactions start. Sheila says DCS has made me self aware and thus helped to appropriately respond to or stay silent with those around me who are not self aware. Exactly, Sheila, that's all we need to do. Sometimes just staying silent and moving on, not getting into controversies, not labeling somebody, not putting down somebody. It's a little difficult if you have not practiced it earlier, but once you start practicing it, it becomes easier and easier. It is not as difficult as we think. We just have to have a little change in the mindset, and we can do whatever is needed in those circumstances. So, thank you very much. You have given a lot of food for thought for me also. I've jotted down some of the points that you have raised in this, and that always helps me to broaden my horizons when I meet people like you, coming from such diverse backgrounds, educational standards, ages, everything. I thoroughly enjoy that diversity that we get our privilege to have in our environment, and I want to extend that to whoever and wherever it is, so that everybody can enjoy that, diversity. Yeah, Roshan says traveling a lot in old age have widened my horizon to various cultures, meeting intelligent, understanding, and wonderful people in my life. I have only one question here to Roshan. What do you mean by traveling a lot in old age? When does old age start? My grandfather, who lived well into his 90s, used to get very angry if somebody called him an old man. He never accepted it. Why do you want to say old age? Even that puts a limitation. This person is old, this person is young. What are we doing? We're creating two categories. Very subtle ways, how we do that. There are youngsters who look up and say, oh, he's an oldie, oh, he is like this, he's like that. There are seniors who say, oh, he's a bacha, what does he know? He has got no experience of life. Both of them are wrong. If we start accepting it, we can learn a lot from people who are much more older and experienced. We can learn from those who are younger and maybe in certain ways even wiser than us. If we take up that attitude, believe me, the world becomes a beautiful place. And even if you don't travel, sitting wherever you are, you'll keep meeting, very, very interesting people and learning a lot from them. So let me wind up with Sheila's message. Thanks, Ali, as always. So many takeaways. So nice to hear you. Weekly revision classes. Yes, that's right. That's a good way of putting it. It's a little bit of a revision of our life. So every week, if you spend this 1 hour, thinking, introspecting, and bringing about these small, small changes and transformation in you, you are headed towards a far better quality of life, and old age will never come to you. You may cross 100 years of life, but you will not definitely not be old. So with that, I'd like to sign off, reminding you that we meet every Saturday at 11 o'clock. Sorry, next Saturday, which is 10th of June at 11 a.m. sharp, we are going to be talking about how to cool down an angry person. We have so many angry people around us, and they can be very, you know, spread that anger or unpleasantness or bitterness to others. But can we learn some techniques of cooling down an angry person? If that person is important to you, if it's somebody on the road, obviously you won't bother, you'll walk away from him. But if it is a person who's important to you and you have to live or interact with that person, some tips and techniques I have been gathering as to how to cool down that angry person. And for those of you who are busy at 11 o'clock on Saturdays, remember that this program remains on the Facebook page. You can log in and see it later, anytime, whenever you want. The only thing is, you'll not be able to participate in the discussion. What I look forward to is to have your participation, not only your questions, but even your comments, your wisdom, whatever your approaches, your experiences. So I look forward to as many of you who can take that time out on Saturday 11 to 12 and join us for a live session. Otherwise, also, we are with you, and we will meet again next Saturday, that is 10th of June at 11 o'clock. Thank you, and bye bye.